Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching or listening to us from. This is episode big five of the Naija FC podcast. As always, I'm your host, AyoT, and I have with me my co-host.
SmithLayi, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much for joining. Everyone for listening to us. The support has been great on the podcast so far, and we're giving you the episodes back to back to back as often as we can, to keep the conversation going and to keep engaging with you guys. We have a host of topics to discuss today. I mean, we're going to kick off from the biggest thing that's happening right now in the world of football. We're talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. I mean, as we all know, our gallant Super Falcons were able to qualify from what was dubbed as the group of death. They
Yes.
defeated Australia and they got draws against the Republic of Ireland and Canada. Tough teams all around, and were able to qualify as the second place team in Group B. We're now going into the knockout stages, where is winner take all in every match from this point. As many of you would have seen by now, we are going to face the Lionesses of England, the European champions. It's not going to be easy, but let's talk about what we can expect and what we hope to happen in that game. First of all, Smith, like, let me ask you this question. When we drew the game against Ireland, knowing that we were more than likely going to face England, were you disappointed or, were you still pleased with the way the ladies performed over the group stage?
I have to be honest with you. I was disappointed because I think that we can win the game. It's winnable, but at least you must not lose that game. So it's very difficult to say. But I'm not really impressed with the performance. I have to be honest with you. This is like no holds bar. But since we have qualified for the second round, I think I can just take that. But for me, I wasn't really impressed. I would have rather Nigeria played Denmark than for us to play against England. I would have loved that. But England, there's so many things attached to it. They were like colonial, they used to in everything. A lot of Nigerians in England, relationship is so tight. So it's a lot of emotions going on. So I just think that it will be better for us to avoid that now, to dodge the bullets and go for Denmark. I was not really pleased with the England game,
Mm.
but we have to face it now.
I would say I think me I was probably the opposite of that, to be honest, because that game against Ireland, of course, I wanted us to win. I wanted us to top our group, and do something that we've never done before. But at the same time, I wasn't quite disappointed, because football is all about moments. In the first half of that game, we're obviously playing a bit more conservative. The goal of that game was don't lose. Just don't lose and you qualify. So we're playing a bit more conservative. But after the halftime break, I think probably they got into the locker room at halftime. They had heard the score from the Australia versus Canada game. Australia were already beating Canada 2-0, I think, at halftime. And in the second half, I saw that the ladies came and were a bit more expressive. We also had, I think, two very good chances. There was the one that Oshuala had in the first half where, frankly, she should have scored.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the Uchenna Kanu header in the second half that was just a very fantastic save by the Irish goalkeeper. So the
Mm-hmm.
way I look at it, if Oshuala had converted or if Kanu's header had not been saved beautifully, we would have been winning that game 1 or 2-0, and everybody would have been happy. So, I was slightly upset or annoyed, or sad. I would say sad is probably the best word, that we were not able to top our group. But at the same time, I was still proud of the effort that the girls gave, because the way I look at it, in that game, if they had gone from the start and then they had just wanted to play all out attack or play very attack minded, and they conceded 1 or 2 early goals, it would have just raised our tension, for the rest of the game. And of course, we all didn't know that Canada were just going to go there and lie down for Australia.
Australia.
So I think for me, I mean, I wanted to face Denmark as well. I believe I said it on the last podcast episode. I wanted to face Denmark, but at the
Yes.
same time, it is what it is. We have to face the challenge now. To be the best, you have to beat the best. So hopefully we can beat the best, in Europe, in this upcoming fixture. The game is on Monday, so we are very, very close to the game. What kind of setup, what kind of style are you expecting from Super Falcons in that game against England?
So I expect Randy to approach the game like he did against Australia. I think it might probably be the same approach because but we have to give England respect. They have a lot of firepower. There's a way they attack. and they can cause havoc from any direction. So I expect Randy to approach the game the way he did against Australia. Don't forget that Australia too beat England in one of the warm-up games. 2-0. So to
Yeah.
tell you that that should be a confidence booster for Nigeria, because we have beaten Australia, so Australia beats you, we should be able to like beat you too. So and the England team that
Mm,
Australia actually beat was more stronger than the one that went to this World Cup. So it's a team that we can
mm,
actually beat. I think that if Randy could try and soak up the pressure, try and minimize the crosses, because their main attacking outlet is Lucy Bronze, the Barcelona right back. That's their
from
main
that
attacking outlet.
that yeah.
Yeah. So they will, and the issue is this: they don't cross, they cross backwards, so that they can allow their strikers to settle in. So there's a way they approach their attacking line. So are we expecting that Randy should watch their games and see how the guys actually plays? But for me, I will look at the game against Australia, approach similar way to that, maybe probably not start Oshuala again for me. I think so. I think Oshuala will be better in the second half, because Millie Bright, I don't fancy Millie
Mm.
Bright and Greenwood against Oshuala. It's gonna be a hell of a game. I think that he should approach the game the way he did against Australia. That would be but go better for us.
And I think I agree with you as well. We have to pay the English the respect that they deserve. They have a quality team. They have very good players that are playing at very high levels. As much as we have talents, they have also a lot of talent on their team. They're a very technical side. They know how to move the ball around very well. They play good football. I must say.
Yes,
But I have to take the confidence that the ladies have shown us, from the first three matches of the tournament. And the thing is that the way football works, England in their first game against Haiti, they didn't look amazing. They,
yes,
they won 1-0. In their second game against Denmark, they didn't look amazing. They won 1-0. But then the issue is that they now went to go and play against China. Lauren James now decided that she's going to have the best game of her life. They
yes,
can't flog China anyhow. So it has now raised the standard, and people now say, this England side, they
yes,
score 6 goals, they score all these kind of beautiful goals. So that's the interesting part. But at the same time, I want to give the Super Falcons credit that they deserve. So far in this tournament, they've been able to stay compact, they've been able to defend, fairly well. I mean, one or two mistakes here and there, but for the most part, they've been holding their own in defense, and I think that that's what they kind of have to do against England as well. We have to be more clinical. Like against England, Oshuala cannot be missing that chance that she missed in the Ireland game.
yes,
Against England, one chance, one goal. You see the way Japan dealt with Spain in their group stage match.
yes,
That's the level of finishing that we need to have in the game against England. You get a chance, you score. Get another chance, you score. Even if you are not scoring every chance, because I mean it's football. Make sure that you are testing the goalkeeper. You are threatening the defense. Because if they see that these guys can just score us with one chance like this, it's also put pressure on them, and it also make them to be a bit more cautious. I'm going to expect Nigeria will probably maybe have like 30% possession in that game,
yes,
being honest with ourselves, but we have to trust ourselves in defense, and we have to be able to take our chances in attack. I don't know if I would say Oshuala should stop. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, knock on wood, this doesn't happen. But I don't want a case whereby maybe we're losing 2-0 or we're losing 3-0. That's when we're now bringing Oshuala on. We now say, oh, yeah, Cesar, come and save. Because at that point, the game might already be away from us.
yes,
If we want to save her for like the 60th minutes, let's just be realistic. England have the quality. So I would really just say, okay, let's start our best 11. Everybody from the beginning, give everything that you have. Even if we have to sub Oshuala off in 60th minutes, I think it's okay. But I would just like everybody to be there from the start and just give all that they have, and try to get us the best results that we can. It is a game that, again, being realistic, is a game that we can easily be down 2-3-0. I don't hope for it to happen. But at the same time, it's also a game that if we play our cards well, we can frustrate the English and just drag it on for as long as possible. I've listened to a lot of interviews with ex players, current players when they're playing maybe like as the underdog. I remember like the Chelsea game in Champions League final against Bayern Munich, and for the coach, it's like just tell the players, okay, let's get to the first 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes don't go, it's still 0-0. Okay, another 15 minutes, let's do it. 30 minutes, it's still 0-0. So we
Yes.
just have to try to see how we can frustrate the English for as long as possible and then try to capitalize on the counter attack. The truth is that we have pace in our team with Oshuala, with Rashida Ajibade. We have some pace that we can try to use. Even one is not the fastest, but still she provides some quality. I don't know if they want to play Desire Paranozi in that game to bring some kind of toughness and strength in the attack. But it'll be interesting to see. I think Tony Payne is going to have to play a very, very top level game in that middle. She's going to have
Mhm.
to help us to control the pack really well, to help us to keep possession sometimes so that when the defense is under pressure and they're able to clear the ball, they're able to win the ball back. We cannot just immediately give it back to the English players. Tony Payne will have to help us with that job of okay, keeping the ball a little bit, driving us forward a little bit and trying to pick out one or two quality passes that might even lead to an opportunity for us. I agree with you. Lucy Bronze is one of the biggest threats, is how they build up their attack a lot of the time. I mean, nobody can deny that Lauren James is also a big threat for them. We have to be able to, to play well. But for me, I kind of look at it. Lauren James, I believe is going to be an interesting battle because if she plays from the wing, I'm going to believe that Alozie will be able to. Alozie likes to play that aggressive, never give up type of football. So, I'm not saying that Lauren James cannot beat her, but she's going to give her a decent battle, in my opinion. And if she plays through the middle, I feel like that center mid is honestly where me I have the most confidence in the squad sometimes because that pairing of Ainde and Uchebe, I know what I'm going to get from them every game. It's
Yes.
like there's no question. I know what I'm going to get from them. Even with Rashida that I love so much, sometimes she can be on her game. Sometimes she's really struggling to get into the game and to get the ball and things like that. Same thing with Oshuala. If she's on her game, Oshuala is a threat. But sometimes she's struggling to get into the game. But with Ainde and Uchebe in that midfield, I know what I'm going to get in every match,
Mhm.
and I really, really believe that if Lauren James plays to the middle, they'll be able to do a good job on her. With that being said, I mean, I'm still praying to God. I'm still praying to God that He comes to our aid in that game. Let me ask you, who do you think can be, a game changer for Nigeria in that game? Who do you think can be really, really key for the Super Falcons in that game against England?
I think if I'm going to pick a player, it's going to be Rashida Ajibade and Tony Pay. I
Mm,
think Ajibade because for me, I would not want Randy to match up the Lionesses with three at the back if they're going to come with three at the back because we don't used to play that
mm.
formation. I want us to play our normal
Yeah,
one and just try and make sure that the midfield is so compact because the midfield is one of the things that makes the team solid, like you said. The midfield is the midfield. So I would think Ajibade should not start on the right, please. Let her start on the left.
start
Because
on.
that's
Yes.
left, that's right. It's like she's on holidays. He's in Ibiza in Spain, enjoying holiday. But she's now back to Lagos in the second in the second half. That is it. Because that first half, she's on holidays. But second half, you will see her. She will shakara, she will do a lot of things. So I think that the coach should also be aware of this. I know the coach is someone that is very conservative, want to keep everything tight in the first half. But please, she can do arm in the first half. Who said we cannot score in the first half? When she said to the left against Australia, that was
Mm,
when we scored. So please do
yeah.
normal. Do normal. Coach Randy, please do normal. Play these girls at their strongest position, especially Ajibade. I don't have issues with
Mm.
Numeno and this thing. If possible, Desire have not kicked the ball in this tournament. It's going very hard
In this tournament,
for her
yeah.
to start. So and
Mm,
but should have been very good because I think that she plays like Ramirez of Colombia. The girl will be dropping off her if again. No, I know that we can target Millie Bright and Greenwood. I know we can target them very well. They are very sluggish. I know we can target them, but for me, I think Agibade will be the game changer. These are game.
mm. And let me ask you, who, because I'm thinking of it now in my head. I don't know if I have the answer. Who would you want to play on the right? If Ajibade starts on the left, who do you want to play on the right? In the last two matches, we've seen Uche Nakano play there. But in my own opinion, I cannot even lie to you. I was
Mm-hmm.
not impressed, in either match. In the first match, for me, she was having the worst game of any Nigerian player in this tournament. Then she
Mm-hmm.
scored a goal on the stroke of halftime. Obviously, a
Mm-hmm.
crucial goal for us. So that one raised her ratings. In the
Mm-hmm.
game against Ireland, same thing. I think she was having another bad game. When she's playing in the box, she's good. So, do you think maybe a potential for the coach could be play Kanu as the striker, play Oshuala from the right? Or do you think Oshuala plays as the striker and we bring somebody else to play from the right? Maybe a Gift Monday, or somebody else from the bench. What do you think about that?
For me, I think the coach should use Ifeoma Numenu on the right. The coach should use Ifeoma Numenu on
Mm,
the right because that one can hold the ball. That one can help defensively. That one is also very good in
she
passing.
works hard.
She works very hard. So I think that she's going to benefit us more in the team
Mm.
than Kanu. I can tell you because, yeah, and we don't know. Lauren James plays as if she's playing in a garden. She can pop up in the left, pop up in the right, pop up in anywhere, as if she's toying with her friends. That's how she plays. So we need somebody that can actually what
Yeah,
make sure that she's policed in that game. So that's why I want us to be compact. Kanu normally lose her marker too much. I have to be honest with you about that. And when it's time for us to deliver in the box too, you won't really even see her there. She's lacking confidence. But you never know. Maybe she's showing something in training that we cannot see. But I think my
right.
bet is if you're my numero.
Mm. So if I'm on one on the right, Rashidat on the left, and Oshuala up front. And I
Yes.
think, midfield, obviously, I will stick with the same midfield. Ainde
Yeah.
and Chebe. And defense as well, I'll stick with the same defense.
Same difference.
Plumter, Demain,
Mm-hmm.
Ohale, and Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Alozie.
Yes.
Ohale, I know what I'm going to get from Ohale every game. That one, I like her a lot. Michelle, she's going to give you effort, whether or not she defends well, for me, I think it depends on the quality of the player that is up against her. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some players that have dealt with Michelle, but I've also
Mm-hmm.
seen Michelle put in a lot of quality performances. The
Mm-hmm.
one thing that you know is that she's going to play hard. You know,
Yes.
um, Given the strength of the opposition,
Uh-huh.
Michelle is probably going to chop yellow in this match.
Yes.
Because of the strength of the opposition.
Yeah.
So I just believe that she's going to chop at least yellow.
Yeah.
Plumter, we know what Plumter is going to give us. She's not going to
Yes.
be a big threat going forward, but she's
Yeah.
going to be quite solid defensively, and
Yeah.
she's obviously good for defensive set pieces as well. To
Yes.
get those heads on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm the player that I'm really really hoping has a good game is Tosin Demain. I mean, she has done well so far in this tournament. Nobody should get me wrong. But this is another level now. Knockout round, playing
Mm-hmm.
against almighty England.
Yes.
I hope that she's still able to just compose herself. She's just able to stay focused and play a fantastic game. I don't know. Maybe sometimes it pains me that I watch some of these matches because um, when I was thinking about this England game, my mind kept on going back to the game against USA, the friendly, when she
Yeah.
struggled. And
Yes.
that's kind of like the way I look at it. But at the same time, to be fair to her, she did well against Canada. She did well against Australia. She did well against Ireland. So there's no reason why she can't also do well against England. Okay, question from the bench. From the bench, who do you think can be a key player for us from the bench in this game? If maybe things are not going too well in the first half, or in the game, who do you think can be a key player from the bench for us?
Gift Monday. Gift no Monday. I
This
think
Monday, why?
can actually what be a joker. So they'll be discussing about her in England so much. Like she's someone that can actually what
Mm.
cause problems. So I think Gift Monday is actually what's gonna be good can be a game changer for us.
Hmm.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, we saw what she did against Ireland when she came on the field. She showed a little bit of that her dribbling ability, and I also think that she has the potential to be a joker. I would even give a credit to Uchenna Kanu, the same player that I was saying I don't want to start. Kanu as well. I think that I'm on the same page as Coach Randy. What he used to say initially, she's good against tired legs. She's good against mentally fatigued players. I think Kanu can also be an impact sub for us when the game, is a little bit stretched. in like the 70th minute, she can come on and she can use her pace and use her creativity, her skill on the ball to be able to cause one or two problems for the English players as well. Obviously, player to watch on the English side, I think has to be Lauren James. She's the most obvious one. But who are maybe one or two other players on the English team that you think we need to really, really do a good job on in order to have a good result?
Stanway, very, very good player. And
Georgia
also,
Stanway.
yes. And also, what's it called again? Lucy Bronze. Lucy Bronze is like their major attacking outlet. So I think she's someone we need to actually
Mm,
want to work on. The crosses coming from the right are very important. They need to take care of those crosses. I have to
mm,
be honest with you about that.
mm. I mean, Stanway plays for Bayern Munich, so obviously a top player. Lucy Bronze, plays for Barcelona. Hopefully, Oshoala can give us some of the secrets, in how to defend
Mm.
against Lucy Bronze. I mean, Lucy Bronze is one of the best players in the world. Frankly, she's one of the best players in the world. So yeah,
And
I
freaky,
think I would agree
freaky.
with that. Yeah, and she's good at set pieces. I would say another player to obviously just be careful of is Alessia Russo, their striker. She's a
Mm-hmm.
quality striker. She scored in the game against China. She scores a lot of goals in the league, playing for Manchester United. I think she just joined us now on a free. But if we don't defend well, she's somebody that can potentially capitalize on one or two chances. But at the same time, even though I say watch out for her, I feel like I have the confidence in Ohale and the men to be able to hold her down. It's all about what the other players can do. Okay, any final thoughts about the setup, about what to expect in the game against England?
Well, I think, like was mentioned initially, the setup is should be to remain the same. But I want to say something. Nigerians should not lose hope. Nigerians should not think that we are the underdogs. The bookmakers think that we are like 10-1 to win that game. But I think we still will go to the prediction time. So I don't want to say
Mm,
much about this. So I think do what you did against Australia. Make the first half zero
mm,
zero. England will come out. They will be more anxious in the second half. Then we'll see what happens. They've not been having good second halves. Don't
mm.
forget that.
I mean,
Against Haiti, against Denmark,
yeah.
even against China, second half was worse than first half. So I think that they should, where first half should be 0-0 for us. Then we'll see what happens.
Mm. And I want to share in the confidence that Rashida Tajibade has. She recently did an interview for FIFA's website, and she said it that she's confident going into this game that she doesn't see any reason why we can't cause an upset. Like I mean, most people consider it an upset for Nigeria to win. She said
Mm-hmm.
we've seen a lot of surprises in this World Cup. It's not about the name, it's not about the players, it's not about all those things. She said honestly, I respect every player on the England team, but we also have a lot of quality on our team and a lot of talents that possess threats. I'm focused on what we can do as a team and not what England wants to do at the end of the day. It boils down to what we all do on the field. So I would agree with her. And what I found interesting was that they asked her to give her prediction.
Mm-hmm.
And normally when you ask players to predict, they don't always talk. They just say, I don't know. But Ajibade said Nigeria 2, England 1. They asked her to give her prediction, and she said Nigeria 2, England 1. So hopefully we can actually get that result.
Mm-hmm.
So SmithLayi, what is your own prediction for that game, Nigeria versus England?
You know, when you say Naija, no, they carry last. Someone that says that,
Mm.
no, be joke. Oh. See, I watched a video
Mm.
last week and I saw a goat chasing a lion in Nigeria. It can only happen in Nigeria. So, my mom just talk, oh, Falcons now use goat too. Now Lionesses with this lion where they chase so because how can they goat? I just want to be eaten by a
Mm.
lion. Get chased by this thing. So I will go for Nigeria to qualify. I'm not going for a Nigeria
Mm.
direct win. I'll say Nigeria to qualify.
So
It
are
could
you
be
saying
extra time. It could be
penalties?
penalties. Yeah, it could go. It could be a long
You have to give us a score that we can stamp down.
2-1 after extra time.
2-1 after extra time. Mm.
Yes. Yes.
I'll say I also obviously as a Nigerian, I'm going to go for a Nigeria win because I want us to win. and I
Mhm.
believe in the girls. And I'm going to go along with you and Rashida Lajibade. I would also go for a 2-1, Nigeria win. Whether na 90 minutes or whether na extra time or 2-1, sha, as long as we win the game. That's
Yes.
what matters to me. And
Yes.
hopefully, by this time on Monday, I mean, even much earlier than this, the game is early.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully that Monday morning, we're all celebrating. People that are going to work will go into work. They'll be happy,
Happy.
excited
Yes.
as they are going to work. And Super Falcons, will be doing something that is very, very major, qualifying for the quarterfinal. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I look at it, when I look at the full bracket, if we can go past this England, we feel shock the world though.
The vision of
If
the
we
world.
can go past this England, we can.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be very interesting. But I would also go for a 2-1 win for the Super Falcons, and so shall it be.
Yes.
Um,
And
okay,
before
okay,
sorry,
okay.
before you go on,
That's okay.
so
Go
before
on.
you go on, I saw the interview you had on the Irish football channel, and the man said something that this is the
Yeah,
best time for you to play England. That
it
most of
is. Yeah.
so he said this too that you might be lucky. This is the best time to play England. So I think that they are there for the taking.
Mm.
Yes.
Hopefully, I'm really believing in the girls, and hopefully they can do us proud.
Yeah.
Okay, just before I was going to move on, but just before we move on, did you see the article that the NFF put out today? That they said 29 friendlies in 29 months. They say that they prepared the ladies for this FIFA World Cup. Did you see the article?
I saw the article and it made me sad. I have to be honest with you about that because I realized that we are too childish, and I'm not really sure who posted that. Maybe that person have the authority to do
Mm,
that, or he's just playing. He's just playing with his phone to see just to wind up those girls. Well, I will not say anything about it. It's after the game against England.
mm. I mean, what I will say is that it is, failure has no friends, success has too many friends. It's
Mm-hmm.
rather unfortunate that they are trying to do this PR to make themselves look good.
Mm-hmm.
Let the girls play the game that they are playing. It almost, for me, I think it almost brings about a sign of underconfidence, of lack
Mm-hmm.
of confidence from the FA, because the team spirits, the team, appreciation right now is high. They're just trying to say it now so that, okay, in case we lose against England, though, when people will be unhappy, then we'll not be able to talk then. So they are bringing it now. And I think that is just unfortunate. As we speak, as we're recording this podcast, the players are still fighting to get paid bonuses for the games that they are playing in this World Cup. They are still hoping that when their money gets paid to the FA by FIFA, that they will get it on time. They are going to get it for sure because FIFA will make sure of that, but they're just hoping that they can all get it on time. I mean, they are still fighting to increase their allowance, that they are currently getting in this tournament. I mean, the players are getting almost nothing compared to what the technical team, what the NFF administrators are getting as daily allowance at this tournament. But then you want to tell us that they played 29 games in 29 months. If we even break down a lot of those games, like the coach even himself said on some of the podcasts that he did, a lot of those games where I'm not going to say any game is irrelevant games, is an irrelevant game, but a lot of those games were games that, if you really look at it, that game you cannot say prepared the team. You cannot really
Mm-hmm.
say the game prepared the team. We won't go into it deeply right now, but I just found it a bit laughable that, now that the team is doing well, you're trying to claim part of the success before the tournament. The communications director was the one that was shouting that, this is the worst coach that we've ever had for the Super Falcons. Now that he's doing well, you're telling us, oh, we prepared them well. You see what we did? It's just laughable. But yeah, let's move on very quickly. Still sticking with the World Cup theme. For the first time, we saw three African nations in Nigeria, South Africa, and Morocco reach the round of 16. How did you feel just seeing that? Watching South Africa get that positive result, watching Morocco, and I don't even go lie to you. I did not have any faith in Morocco. I don't even lie. I did not have faith in them. Watching them reach the round of 16, how did that make you feel as an African?
Not only reaching is out of 16, they had the highest point. They had 6 points out of all the African nations. They won 2 games against South Korea
Right.
and Colombia, and I was happy because This is not only for Africa, even for the Arab nation. The first Arab team to actually play at the World Cup, and they're actually in the second round now. So that is that football is
Mm,
global. It's not just for a certain section of
mm,
people. It's global. So it's a good thing that we can see them. It tells you the investment they have put in these sports. See, if you prepare, you will not be denied. They qualified at the expense
mm.
of Germany. So I'm really happy about that. I saw the game. I was screaming when they actually what qualified. And for South Africa too, apart from the Amapiano beef, we just wish them best of luck too. They have qualified for the second second round. They've
Mm,
tried several times, but at least they have qualified for this one now. In like 2 hours time,
mm.
they will play against Netherlands, which we try and watch and wish them best of luck too. So we are all nearly playing European teams. So we hope to knock them all
Yeah,
out.
well, I mean, we're all playing against our colonizers,
Colonizers,
you know.
yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so hopefully Africa can get one over all of them.
Yes.
I would say I was particularly impressed by South Africa. I
Hmm.
watched that their match, and um, I don't know how to pronounce her name properly, but Magaya and Tembi Katlana,
Yeah.
their 1-2 punch was just fantastic to
It was
see
too
in that
much.
game. After the match, Katlana said we knew that they could not match us for our pace, so we wanted to kill them with that pace. And she was such a threat in that game. It was a very like I was crying because South Africa they cannot defend well. Oh man,
Yeah.
they cannot defend well.
Kind of
But
very well.
their attack was so interesting to watch. Their attack was
Yes.
very nice to watch. And I mean, congrats to them. I'm wishing them the best of luck against Netherlands. I mean, we know that Netherlands they are a good team. Historically, even at these tournaments they've been doing okay so far.
Hmm.
So hopefully South Africa can get one over them. It will be a good one to watch. As you said, is the
Yeah.
game is happening tonight.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, let's move on from the World Cup. Let's move on from the World Cup. Let's talk about transfers. We're still in the summer, even though the season is starting in another 1 week for the major leagues. The Premier League is starting in a week. Some leagues like Belgium have already started their own football.
Hmm.
But the transfer window is still open, and we're still seeing a lot of players moving from club to club. We're still hearing a lot of rumors. I'll start with confirmed transfers that happened recently, just a couple of them, and then we'll talk about some other rumors. Josh Maja, 24-year-old Super Eagles striker. He's been called up, I think, was it once or twice to the Super Eagles squad. He just completed a move, joining West Bromwich Albion in the English Championship on a 3-year deal. This is after his contract expired with Bordeaux in France, where he finished in the team of the season last year in the League Two. Um, what do you think about this move? Some people were saying that this guy na championship player. He no fit even get top league. From League Two to Championship, he's a second division type of player.
Hmm.
Of course, in the past we've seen him with Fulham. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. Are you happy that he joined a team like West Brom, or do you wish that he was able to find a move to a top division somewhere?
You know, these English boys, it's like homecoming. They get them for George Maja. At least
Hmm.
he will continue to eat chips and fish in England again because that is that is good homecoming. And it's going to be around friends too. Don't forget, it was part of the Sunderland clips there. He has a lot of cliques, a lot of friends in
Yeah.
England, so it's a good homecoming for him. At least he's sojourned in Bordeaux. It's sad that finishing at the team of the season for Bordeaux and one of the top scorers in the league, you couldn't get like a top flight team in France
Even
or
in France.
yeah, even
Yeah.
in France. So it's sad, but I think everything is bent on his choice. I think he wanted to actually leave France and move to England. Don't forget that Birmingham City wanted him in the January transfer window, but he wanted to see maybe Bordeaux can get promoted to League One. So he stayed behind. Then now moving to West Brom is not bad. Don't forget that Chuba Akpom too, left abroad. He moved to Middlesbrough and he became the player of the season. So you never know.
Yeah.
So I will still call him Super Eagle striker, but we know last time he got called up was so long. But I just wish him best of luck. I wish him best of luck in West Brom.
Mm.
Yeah.
I also wish that he can do well for West Brom. I guess I wasn't really a big fan of the move because I don't really rate the West Brom team.
Yes.
They, for me, they don't have that much quality overall in their side. I
Mm-hmm.
don't I don't necessarily see West Brom as a team that is going to be competing for promotion. I think
Yeah.
they're just going to be a mid-table championship side. So I'd have liked to see him play at a high level. I watched their season opening game today. I watched it against who did they play again? They lost 2-1 against, I think, was it Blackburn? They lost 2-1, and there was not really much to be excited about. I mean, our boy Semi Ajayi played in the match. It was okay. But the way I see West Brom, I think they're just going to have another mid-table finish,
Yeah.
and I would have wished for him to play at a higher level. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, even if they finish mid-table, hopefully he can score a lot of goals and improve his own reputation.
Yeah.
Overall, I think for me, maybe the transfer is like a 6/10. It's not a
Yeah.
bad one.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it would have been nice if you could get a move to the Ligue 1 in France, even if Nantes,
No.
or even one of the promoted sides,
No,
just
Leon.
just to get a move on. I mean, Lorient just signed this other Nigerian striker that
Tosin.
plays for Benin Republic,
Tosin
um,
Aigun.
Tosin Ayegun. So maybe they're not looking for another striker, but I don't know. All the same, Josh Maja, we wish him all the best. We hope
Yes.
that he can continue to flourish in his career.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about another player. Ishak Abdulrazak, a 21-year-old midfielder. He just joined BK Hacken in Sweden on a season-long loan from RSC Anderlecht. This guy is a player that his career journey so far has been a bit interesting to me because he was on a high, he was doing well, and then he moved to Anderlecht. And you'd have thought Belgian league, a league to develop, things will continue to go well for him. And from Anderlecht, they just brought him back down again. When he was playing for IFK Nokoping, in Sweden as well before, he was lighting it up. He was playing as a winger or as a wide midfielder, and he was doing really well. He got a transfer, and then all of a sudden, Anderlecht don't know where to play him. Some games they play him as defender, some games they play him as midfielder, some games they play him as winger. After some time, they just deemed him not to be good enough, and then they moved him to their reserve team. So he played almost the whole of last season playing for the reserve team. Um, I'm happy that he's making this move. He's going back to a league that he knows well, a league that he has done well in the past. I think that he can revive himself, he can revive his career, show himself to still have talent. And I don't want to speak too early, but I think the story for him in Anderlecht is over. But if he's able to do well this season in Sweden, he can potentially set himself up for a permanent move to another club, somewhere that he can actually call home. It's unfortunate that the Anderlecht thing did not really work out, or is not working out great for him so far. But personally, I think I'm happy with this move. For me, it's maybe like a 7/10. It's an opportunity for him to get himself back on track, show people that he's still a quality player. SmithLayi, what do you think about this transfer for Ishak?
There's this popular adage. He said that if there is no road for front, you go turn back. So he's back to base
Mm,
again because he's back to his familiar territory. Because I remember that he was playing very well in Sweden. I think that was even when Akikumi Amao was also no, Alassane Yusuf was there. Then I think as well as we were
yeah,
Gothenburg then. So he was really doing well in
yeah, got
Sweden.
it, yeah,
Gothenburg, yeah, he was really doing well in Sweden. So for him, I think it was just like there was a red card. If you remember in Anderlecht when he was playing, he got a red card.
yes,
The red
yes.
card, he could not get back to the team again. There was a game in the reserve team. He scored 2 goals. The senior team were having issues in the right back and right wing. They didn't even bring him. So, and the comment that the coach made this season is that you have to look for a new club. So if a coach is telling you that you have to look for a new club, that means that there is no, when you have a visitor and you visitor come to your house and you are sharing with the visitor the remnant of the food that is at home. So what are you telling the man? See, there is no food at home. So if they are showing you that body language, it's better for you to look for a new home. So it's good that you went to
Than to
Sweden
force
back.
yourself.
Yes, it's good that he went to Sweden back. I think that he will still come back to Belgium and do better and prove another
Mm,
wrong. I wish him luck too.
mm. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wish him all the best, and I mean, when I was watching him in Sweden, then I also thought it was quite good. So hopefully things can pick up again for him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about another transfer. This one is a Nigeria under 20 player. Just played for us at the under 20 World Cup earlier in the year. Scored for us at the under 20 World Cup. I'm talking about Salim Fagula. Wow. He just moved to NK Istra in the Croatian HNL, the Croatian First Division. I'll let you go first on this one. What did you think, when you heard about the transfer, and what are you expecting to see from Salim Fago in this team?
I think the transfer was done for so long. I think it was just issue of
Mm.
paperwork and visa. That's one of the things that styled the presentation. But now he's there. He we settle down. He's even for a long time. His friends already said congrats to him. So I think we settle down in Croatia. Going to a club like that will give him time and opportunity to what to adapt. Patience is a club that what's it called that are patient with youngsters. So Fagolawa is not stranger to the Nigerian football system. It was part of the Vareggio Cup, what's it called in Italy then, though he didn't really do well there. That was a cup that that brought out Ebenezer Akinsomiro, the guy that played for Inter Milan. So it was
Yeah.
part of the Vareggio Cup. He went to was it Broad City, was it Smart City also. So he's been playing the private league in Lagos. So it's good for him to make a step. I think that he's talented. That's one thing I know about Fagolawa. He's talented. He's one of these lanky striker. Is talented, and we hope to see more of his Cristiano Ronaldo celebration when the league starts in Croatia because he celebrates like Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Zoo.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. The only thing that I was kind of looking at is I was looking at the history of performance in the league for NK Istra, and they're a team that tends to struggle
Hmm.
most of the seasons.
Yes.
Last season, I think they finished about fifth in their league. But before the last season, for like 5 years in a row, they finished second to the last. For like 5 years in a row, second to the last, second to the last, second to the last, second to the last. You know, do you think that if he plays in a team that is struggling, he would be able to develop like we want him to. Because it's one thing to be playing for a team that is competing where you can express yourself, where you can score goals. It's another thing to be playing for a team that every week now just to pack boss, pack boss, pack boss, they chop three, they chop four.
Hmm.
If they struggle, do you think that can hamper his development?
Yeah, it's a very valid point you made there. Now one can ask you what Ampa is development for me in Croatia, apart from Dynamo Zagreb. All of them na same same.
Zagreb.
Na same same. Na same same. So na same same. Their football is equal. So I think
Mm,
Fago just needs to like perform in few games for him to get a better club in Croatia or move to other European club. Don't
mm,
forget he's very young. He's a young player. So he just need to perform slightly. No, see, on your day today, go be a game that now you go be on top for that game. So maybe Fago,
true,
if
true.
Fago can, yes, if Fago can like
Mm,
have like 7 goals, 8 goals or so, people will take note of him,
mm,
and before you know it, national team call up under 23s can come. People will know him. So from there, I think I can actually be. Don't forget, he's his first club in Europe, so that one can be a stepping stone. He's going to
yeah.
get good coaching, good facility too. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Okay, we're almost at the end of today's podcast episode. So I want to do a quick plug like I did in the last one. If you are watching, if you are listening, and you would like to shop our merchandise, you want to wear the Nigeria football t-shirts that I have on for those of you watching on YouTube, or you want to, wear the same hat that I have on my ET hat, or you want the Naija jersey phone case, customized for your own phone, make sure you check out our website, eaglestrackershop.com, and that is where you can get your Niger flavored merch. We have a lot of stuff all in stock. We ship to every part of the world. As long as you're on planet Earth, we'll get it to you. So make sure you check out eaglestrackershop.com. You support the brand and you get your beautiful merchandise. Okay, SmithLayi, back to the transfers. Let's talk about now some of the rumors that we've had recently. I'll start with the biggest one. The biggest one that we heard. It's been a few days now since this news came out. I'm talking about Nigeria's biggest player at the moment, Victor Osimhen, who was subject of a huge bid. I think they said it was about 120 million or thereabout from Al Hilal in Saudi. The bid, they say, was rejected swiftly by Napoli, Siemens' current club. But the interesting part for me was not even that Al Hilal want to sign him. The interesting part was that they are offering him apparently £1 million a week. £1 million a week. I don't think any Nigerian player has even smelt up to half of that kind of salary before.
Hmm.
Not to talk of 1 million a week. I'll go first on this one. I already did a short video on it. I like I was saying, I cannot in my own church mind, I cannot tell anybody in this world to reject £1 million a week. Some people work their entire life, they die at 70, 80, 90. You add up their whole salary for their life. Some people will not reach £1 million a week.
Hmm.
So how do I even tell somebody not to take that kind of money? And again, I'm also of the belief that this is money that can change the future of his lineage. This is money that can make sure that anybody that has the last name Osime, can be set for a very, very long time. His children, his children's children, his great grandchildren can be fine. So I don't know how to say, oh, he should stay and he should win Champions League, he should win Scudetto. Like our dear Odionigallo said, you cannot use trophies to buy food in the supermarkets. So
Hmm.
for me, if that move is truly on the cards, I want him to go there for 2 years, just 2 years, make 100 plus million pounds. Then after, you can come back to mainstream Europe and you can say you want to continue your legacy. But I think it's such a move that is too good to turn down. What do you think about that
You know,
Osimhen to Halilao
it's
possibility?
it's a story of two tales. I would just say two things. You are right by everything you actually what said, but on the flip side, you realize that for the national team it's not good. What it takes, remember the way we talk about Tigalo playing for Nigeria, about Saudi,
Mm,
about China. When you keep on, when you say, okay, your best striker is now from Saudi, you just realize that at the end of the day, the level of competition in Saudi Arabia is not the one that
mm,
Osimhen can actually. Okay, why can't Saudi go and pay for Ireland? So they want to go and test talent. Why can't Saudi go and? They know the weak link. They know who to go for. One, they targeted him based on his contract dispute and what background. They know that dispute and what and background too. I'll tell you that and background because they
African
realize
man now.
yes and background. Why can't they go for Luka Modric and go and pay money for Luka Modric? Why are they targeting Frank Kessie and Tolman Partey? All the African players can't take. So they know exactly who to target. They know who will go and get the money. They know. So for me, Osimhen has never been to a competition to be the top striker for Nigeria before. Imagine Osimhen going to Saudi not
Mm,
scoring goals. Will you come and make case for him to be included in Super Eagles? No. We're gonna stick with our winning it. No.
mm,
If he's even scoring one or two goals in Napoli, and if we come na still king. So and for me, I saw a video between Inter Milan and Al Nassr when the Al Nassr player was counting them, maybe they are complete. The way Inter Milan was pressing them. If you are not when you saw the video, it was counting their players 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the way Inter Milan were holding the ball, the level of competition in Europe is far ahead of Saudi Arabia. Let's be honest ourselves. They can compete. Saudi
mm,
Arabia can compete well in the Arab world. They are playing the Arab Champions League now. They are doing well there. The clubs are doing well there. But in Europe, it's different. So for him
mm,
personally, and Victor Osimhen family, for David Osimhen, Victor Osimhen family, for James Osimhen, is good for their lineage. But for Nigeria, as a national team, because for instance, I don't know why Osimhen will give me €20 now. The only thing Osimhen can give me is happiness. Scoring goals for Nigeria. His money cannot reach me.
mm.
And Osimhen is our Peking. About 200 million is our Peking. So for me, it should not go.
Mm. But at the end of the day, if we use trophy chop for supermarket, buy for supermarket, and at the end of the day, see if Osimhen even goes to Saudi, he can be borrowing money to NFF. It can be helping NFF to fund their operation. I can imagine Osimhen is in Saudi now. NFF could talk say may Osimhen they pay bonus for players when they go match since they don't want to pay bonus. But I hear what you're saying. I think it's clearly a case of competition, legacy versus finances. Me, I will choose the finances, but I at the same time I hear what you're saying. I, I understand why people don't want to cement to go. I understand why some people are saying, "Oh, let him stay in Europe when he's 29, when he's 30, he can go to Saudi. The offer will still be there." Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, all the same, we can talk all we want. Is down to Osimhen and what he wants to do. The final say is in his hands, and I mean, partially in Napoli's hands if they are going to accept the bid. But all the same, I'll keep supporting. We'll keep wishing him all the best. Okay, let's move on very quickly. We also have Akko Adams. SmithLayi, what do you have for us on the latest rumors involving Akko Adams?
The last game of he, according to everything is done. So they're just like putting final details because he already said bye bye to his teammates in Lillestrøm. So, but they have not announced it
In
in very
Lillestrøm.
official. Yeah. So I think that is the deal is done. I think that it's just it's just not if now, it's when they're gonna announce him. So
Mm,
don't forget that he has been a very good player too. He's another player that that can light up the League One and can score also
mm,
score goals. Before you know it, it's the Premier League again. So Aqua Adams, very good
yeah.
player. I think that the move is very close.
And
It's like 95% done.
yeah, and I'm very happy for him, honestly, because he's a player that I've been watching for years now. At Lillestrøm, at a point they used to have Ifeanyi Matthew,
Mm-hmm,
Igo Ogbu, Akko Adams, all in the team together. We saw Igo Ogbu get his own move to Slavia. We saw Ifeanyi Matthew get his move to Zurich.
mm-hmm,
And Akko Adams was kind of like the odd one out. Back then, he wasn't really starting for them. He wasn't really playing. But then in the past season, they gave him the starting shirt, and no more. This guy just starts to score goal left, right, center.
mm-hmm,
So I'm not even by any means surprised that he's been subject of interest from the French League One or from quality teams. And we wish him all the best. Like you said, it's a matter of when, not if, for him to transfer permanently to Montpellier, rather
mm-hmm.
in the French League One, and hopefully he can do well there. We'll have a number of our strikers. We'll have Murphy. We'll have him in the League One, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully things go very well for him. What about Chidozie Awaziem? What's latest on Awaziem's move?
So I think I was them own. The details is not really clear, but according to report, said that he already had a verbal agreement with Nuns in France, so that the move is very close to. So I think it's because
Mm,
Boavista is not really having it good financially. So maybe they're trying to move some of their players on. So he has played in Nantes before, and he did
yeah,
extremely very well in League One. So it won't be bad for him to go back. So I think if he's performing well in League One, you can consider him for Super Eagles back. So I think it's also a very good move for him
yeah.
if the whole thing actually was go according to his plans. Yes, good move for him.
No, yeah, and I mean, the reality of it is that it's going to be a big move for him. Moving from he played in Hajduk Split last season for
Hmm.
in the Croatian league. And of course, League One is a big step up for him.
Yes,
Like you mentioned, he has played in Nantes before, so it's
yes,
not a terrain that is new to him. And
yes,
then for his Super Eagles chances as well, if he's playing in Nantes, he has more of a case
yes,
to make the Super Eagles squad, for future invitations. So
yes.
I think it will be a quality one for him. Hopefully, they can get it over the line. And yeah, we can see Awaziem at a high level playing his football once again. Okay, Ele2, what's the latest on his own transfer rumors?
So two went with AC Milan for preseasons, but they just want him to blend with the first team. So, but they're trying to. It was part of one of the most astounding player in their youth system last season. It was part of the team that went all the way to the
Mm,
semi-final of the under 19 youth league. But I think the next step for him is for them to try and get him on loan. So in the AC Milan too, they're also kind in what they're trying to do. They want to support the team that will take him on loan financially, so that they can pay his salary
mm,
together. So which is actually what very good. So it's been linked to Nance again. It's the Nance and AS Monaco, but I think Nance are the favorite to actually what get him. So we'll be having three Nigerian players in Nance. So I
a
think
lot
it's
of players in the League One.
in League One. So I think it's going to be a very good move for him. He's a very young player, and I think that he's a player that wants first team action. That is what makes him different. He wants to play first team. So it's going to be a long move for him. It's
Mm,
not selling him because they think that is very important to their
mm,
future. So it's just for him to go and get experience outside first.
experience.
Yes.
All right. And then finally, Bruno Onyemaechi, what's the latest on his own potential
This is
transfer?
one of the most long story, long transfer we have been hearing. Different. It's like the transfer is moving like a snail. But according to report, they said that no, he has already agreed a 5-year deal with FC Porto, and the price is really very low. And despite that, I think Porto is trying to even pay it instrumentally or use Awazen money to pay
Instrumentally.
or use the money they owe them from our ZM money to pay it because I think Bavista have not finished paying the money for our ZM. So the I don't know. I think it's finance that is trying to disturb Bruno's move, but I think Bruno's move too is also a matter of time. It will soon be unveiled, according to
Mm.
a report. It's also a matter of time too. So we have two
And
left
and
back competing in Porto.
yes, and that's the question I wanted to ask you because what would that do for Zedu Sanusi? I mean, and also for the Super Eagles because I've always thought that Bruno, is the better defender amongst the two of them. I said it a couple times in the past, on Instagram Live, and people were telling me, what do you know? What are you talking about? But I'm like, I know Sanusi had a meteoric rise, from
Mm-hmm.
the second division, boom, in
Yeah.
the 2 years he was playing for FC Porto in the Champions League. But
Yes.
Bruno, takes set pieces very well, defends very well, and also contributes in attack. Even some people were telling me, but Zedu can attack better. And I remember I was telling them, look at the stats in the last season. Zedu did not get as many assists, did not score as many goals. So even that attack that you say Zedu is good at, Bruno is still doing better than him statistically, playing for a worse team. What do you think that would do for Zedu Sanusi if he has to compete with Bruno in the same club? And also, what would that do for the Super Eagles, having our two left backs in the same club?
You know, how would that one do for Porto too during the AFCON? So, but let's just go into it this way. For Sanusi, I know Sanusi is someone that likes to challenge. Remember when they brought in Wendell from Bayer
Mm,
Leverkusen? When they was playing, he was about to be pushed out of Brighton, if you remember. But the coach called him in the last minute, stay and fight for yourself. And from there, he had one of his best seasons in FC Porto. So I think Sanusi is someone
mm,
that rise to the challenge if he's being challenged. And he's someone that's, I think can actually what to do well. Don't forget that Sanusi can play as a left back, but Bruno can play like multiple positions. He can play as a left center back. So, don't
yeah.
forget that. So, it might not be like a direct competition like that. But according to reports too, Sanusi has
Mm,
been linked to Olympic Marseille in France. So, don't be
mm.
surprised to see him trying to move on to from FC Porto. Because if Marseille is offering big money, I'm very sure that the man from Kebbi State might go for it. For Super Eagles, yes, so, for Super Eagles, I think it's good for us to have two left back playing the Champions League. So it's
Mm,
been a long time we had only have defenders playing in Champions League. I know we had the Kevin Bassey last season, but it's been a long time we don't have this, defenders playing in Champions League. So it's also a very good for Super Eagles. But for FC Porto, if two of them stays in the FC Porto, that means that they will not have any left back during the AFCON. So, so
in
it might
January.
be it might be a bit issue. But for me, I think that if Pascal is going to pick any of them, he won't pick the two. He will pick one of the two. That's
Mm,
what I think.
mm.
Yes,
All right, all right.
yes.
Good thoughts. Thank you for giving us that information.
Yeah.
Before we end the episode, do you have anything that you want to add or quickly just talk about?
I just want to say that there is no mountain that is too hard to climb. The three lions you see
Mm,
today, you will not see them again. Quarterfinals straight for the Super Falcons.
mm. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
also very, very, very much hoping that we're able to climb that mountain and we're able to tame those lionesses. I mean,
yes,
I don't know, like you said, normal, you go expect see lion go beat falcon,
yes.
but like we saw in
Mhm.
that video that the was
Yeah,
chasing the lion, anything is
yeah.
possible in Nigeria. You
Yes,
know, so
yeah,
hopefully we can get the results.
yes.
All right, okay, we've just crossed the 1 hour mark, so let's call it a day on episode 5 of the Naija FC podcast. 5 episodes in already. It seems like just yesterday we started this thing, and the support has been great. We keep it coming, we keep getting the views, and the listens and the
Mhm.
engagement is very interesting. Thank you to all our viewers and all our listeners. As always, I've been IoT. You might know me from Ego Striker, and my co-host is.
SmithLayi, keep watching, keep subscribing, keep supporting us. We really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
very much, guys. Bye bye.